The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, has been at the forefront of the battle for better educational system in Nigeria. Since inception, the union has used its ultimate tool, industrial actions, to fight its battles. ASUU, founded in 1978, which took over from the Nigerian Association of University Teachers formed in 1965, engaged in its first ever industrial action in 1988 and was proscribed. It resumed in 1990, got banned again in 1992, resumed in September 1992 and has since then organized further strikes in 1994 and 1996, protesting against the dismissal of staff by the Sani Abacha military regime. Since 1999, ASUU has embarked on strike 17 times with an average of 3 months duration, the minimum duration of which was 1 week in 2006 and 2008 to a maximum of 9 months in 2020 during the pandemic. The Academic Staff Union of Universities has spent 1,615 days or 4 years, 6 months on strike since the return to democracy in 1999. This implies that about 18.44% of every academic year is spent on strike. Interestingly, by academic calendar, these strikes have minimal effect as most universities are still in their intact sessions with very few universities bearing the brunt and lagging behind. Universities have turned to constricting academic calendar to account for lost time as a result of ASUU incessant strike actions. The years in which ASUU did not embark on strikes include 2000, 2004, 2012, 2014, 2015 and 2021. On average, in every 1 in 3 years, ASUU has been embarking on strike since 1999. Now, let's talk about the number of strike ASUU has embarked upon and the total months spent on each of these strikes. In 1999, immediately after Olusegun Obasanjo was inaugurated as president, ASUU embarked on a nationwide strike. The strike took place from mid-1999 through late 1999. The strike lasted for 5 months. After the strike that lasted for 5 months in 1999, ASUU embarked on another strike that lasted for 3 months. The union was expressing its displeasure over the sack of 49 lecturers by the University of Ilorin. The industrial action was aggravated when the then president, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, described Nigerian university lecturers as a bunch of lazy and ungrateful people. On December 29, 2002, ASUU embarked on another strike that lasted for 2 weeks. The strike was embarked upon because the federal government failed to implement the agreement it had with the union. Another strike began in 2003, which left Nigerian university students idle for 6 months. The union said government had failed to implement previous agreements related to poor funding of universities, among others. ASUU embarked on another strike that lasted for 2 weeks in 2005. This is the second strike that lasted for 2 weeks since 1999. A 3-day warning strike was embarked upon by ASUU in 2006. The 3-day warning strike eventually became a week industrial action. On March 26, 2007, Nigerian public universities were shut down by ASUU. This time around, the strike lasted for 3 months. The union embarked on strike in 2008 in order to compel authorities to improve salary scheme of its members. ASUU also wanted the University of Ilorin to reinstate the 49 lecturers that were dismissed in 2001. The strike lasted for 1 week. The lecturers were not reinstated despite court ruling in their favor. Another strike was embarked upon by the union, and this lasted for 4 months. ASUU wanted the federal government to implement the agreement of previous years. ASUU and federal government entered into a new agreement in 2009, and in October of the same year, the union called off the strike. The 2009 agreement between ASUU and federal government would later become the reason for subsequent strikes by the union. On July 22, 2010, the union embarked on another strike that lasted for over 5 months. ASUU called off the strike in January 2011. ASUU went on strike in December 2011, citing federal government's failure to implement the 2009 agreement as reason. The strike, which was called off in 2012, lasted for 59 days. On July 1, 2013, another industrial action was embarked upon by ASUU. The union wanted the federal government to implement the 2009 agreement by reviewing the retirement age for professors from 65 to 70 years and increase budgetary allocations to the education sector by 15 to 20% among other things. The strike, which lasted for 5 months and 15 days, was eventually called off on December 17, 2013. After the 2013 ASUU strike, there was respite in 2014, 2015 and 2016 as no major ASUU strikes occurred across the country except until Wednesday 16 November 2016 when ASUU commenced a 7-day warning strike. Another strike was declared by ASUU on August 17, 2017. This was because federal government failed to honor previous agreements with the union. ASUU called off the strike on 4 September 2017. The 2018 ASUU strike was declared on November 4, 2018 and ended after 3 months on February 8, 2019. The union is demanding that the federal government properly fund Nigerian universities and honor previous agreements between the duo, among other things. ASUU decided to embark on a total and indefinite strike from Monday 23 March 2020, at the very beginning of the pandemic in Nigeria, rejecting the use of force to enroll on the FG's integrated payroll and personal information system. The strike lasted through December 23, 2020, a whopping 9 months duration. On February 14, 2022, ASUU embarked on a 4 weeks warning strike. It was later extended